Thank you for staying with us here on KTN Prime. My name is Sophia Wanuna. We leave you with this report. It's been 1 year since the much-hyped launch of the multi-million shillings Karatina Market hub, a market which at the time of its launch literally raised the hopes of not only would-be traders but also locals in Madeira constituency. But 1 year later, a project looked at with prestige is quickly becoming a permanent mark of shame with abandoned stalls. Stories of traders quitting their business altogether due to a slow start, which they blame on poor planning and nauseating poor sanitation, especially on the top floors of the market. Tonight, our reporter Ibrahim Karanja tells of the shell that now is Karatina Market, with glaring questions of whether it is yet another white elephant project. Here is that story, Mega Market of Filth.
I still remember with acute nostalgia, November 1st, 2018, when President Uhuru Kenyatta cut the ribbon of Karatina Market and giving the keys to the county government of Nyeri, officially marking that the market was open. Less than a year later, I'm back to see how Karatina Market is doing. Remember, this market is famed as the largest open-air market in the country and in East and Central Africa. However, we have received reports of a very poor sanitation state and businesses dwindling in this particular market. Let's take a look. Imposing its majestic height over and above most buildings in Karatina town, this market that cost the government in excess of 400 million shillings under retired President Kibaki's economic stimulus program still remains an indicator of the resilience that is in the people of Madeira, an indicator of patience, an undying spirit of hard work coupled with business accuracy. That explains the over 10 years long wait the traders endured just to see the completion and subsequent launch of the market. But what at the time seemed to be a project that would elevate the business environment and quality of life in the area is now looked at with disdain.
Hata hii soko kama tumejengwa hivi hatuoni faida vile tunaona, hatuoni faida yake sisi kama wafanya biashara hapa. Tuko karibu kusema afadhali Kenya pale chini tulikuwa tunajijengea huko chini.
Sasa tunaendelea na watu kupunguza. Wanaenda kupunguza. Unaona hata huko juu umekuta kuna mabakara haina watu. Hiyo yote ilikuwa na watu. Hata ukiangalia ile nyingine huko ndani huko ilikuwa na watu, sasa haina watu.
Watu wamechotwa na benki nakwambia. Hakuna mtu. Watu wamechotwa hapa. Watu wamedoka na miguu yao. Wametoroka na miguu yao. Hakuna biashara.
Barely a year into trading here, the traders are slowly losing grip of the last hope they've been desperately clinging on to. The place has not much to write home about.
Kwa siku inayokuja, kama tuseme miezi 2-3 hivi, kama Disemba ikifika hapa, tutakuwa tumeisha kabisa. Tumekuwa tumemaliziwa na bei sana na biashara. Kwa hivyo tusipotoka huko nje kwa wengine huko chini tu mix, tukae pamoja sisi wote, hakuna mtu atakuja hapa kuchukua vituguu na bado amatasionea pale nje.
The open air section of the market may indicate vibrancy, but most peripheral stalls have been shut down. Things are even worse on the upper floors. During the launch and subsequent allocation of stalls and trading spaces at this market, Nyeri Executive Committee member in charge of trade, Diana Kendi, expressed frustrations on the method to be used to satisfactorily allocate the spaces. Compared to spaces available, Kendi said that the number of interested applicants was way too high. Fast forward to September 2019, and the market is almost a shell. The traders accuse the county government's Department of Trade of neglecting the ongoings here immediately after the national government handed over the project. Key among their concerns is the policy on what items are to be sold at what section of the market. A policy they say is too good on paper, but one that is seemingly too tough to implement.
Huku kwa gorofa sio watu wengi wanakuja kununua matunda kwa sababu kama matunda kama haya tunauza iko pale nje. Unaona? Na tena huku ni kwa gorofa juu.
Wakati tulikuwa tumapaga kuja hapa, ile tulikuwa tunasaidia vizuri. Tulikuwa tumeambiwa kama unaweza kituguu una section yako. Wewe mnunuzi ukiwa unataka kidugu unapanda gorofa fulani. Ukiwa unataka viazi unaenda sehemu fulani. Ukiwa unataka nini utaenda fulani. Lakini wakati huu hii vitunguu tumeweka hapa juu. Lakini ukienda pale kwa mlango, wanauza nyanya. Wanauza kila kitu, bado wanakuwa na hizi vitunguu. Kwa hivyo wewe ukiingia kama mgeni unaigilia pale, unachukua vitu zote hapo. Kwa hivyo wao wengine wote hakuna mtu atauza.
We do not want someone selling melons on the ground floor. If the designated area for melons is on the top floor, it will not happen, because clearly that is not fair business practice. So I can promise you that if it is not happening, because that was our initial agreement, that we were going to have beans on one floor, we were going to have fruits on a certain floor, we would have mangoes and specific cereals, the cabbages and vegetables. We had even designed that, inclusive of once you get the shop, you are not free to do what you want with it. You got a shop that was designed as a barber shop. It has to be a barber shop and will remain a barber shop until, if yours was meant to be an electronics shop, you have no right and authority to change it.
Aside from proper policies, other reasons cited for the dwindling fortunes here are the poor state of sanitation, lack of a proper drainage system, and inadequacy of facilities such as toilets.
One, there has been a complaint that the toilets are too many to break even. Now those are the business people that we have given, those groups that we have allowed to run the toilet. They are the ones saying, we think we need to bring down the number so that there can be breaking even in the prices. I think every toilet, for running a toilet, they only pay the county government 10,000 Kenyan shillings, which is peanuts, considering that they are making more than 40,000 every month.
Things haven't always been this way. Before, the doors to the toilets here were unceremoniously closed, forcing traders and the general public to seek relief in the open spaces. Designed for businesses, one would comfortably use the toilets at a fee. But according to a person who directly dealt with the private toilets, the business was untenable, forcing them to seek other alternatives, leaving those who use this market at the mercy of the county government.
Walinipigia tu simu abruptly, wakaniambia tu chose ifungwe tarehe 17 the following day.
Tarehe 17 the following day.
Juu tarehe 16 nilimpelekea pesa, akaniambia tarehe 17 ifungwe, zisifunguliwe tena.
Ilikuwa aje before that? Mlikuwa mnafuna operate aje?
Na tulikuwa tuna manage, saa zingine tulikuwa napata 45 shillings per day. That 45 nilikuwa nampelekea. Saa zingine nipate 15 bob, hiyo ndo nampelekea. So akaona haiendelei vizuri, akaamua kuzifunga.
Most stalls here are empty, and you're being given tens of reasons as to why these stalls are empty. Some are citing that potential traders have been coming here to ask how business has been, and when they are told that the businesses here have not picked up, then they give up and they decide that they are not going to start their business. However, there are clear indications that some businesses had actually been started, and after a short while, the traders decided to close down and go away from this market. Reasons being cited now include the poor sanitation in this particular market. Human waste splatters the floor across a section of open stalls of the market, yet a short distance away is a flurry of human activities, mainly dealing with food.
If you go around in a town, in the dark alleys, in the corners, you will find that people have a tendency of converting them into toilets. Karatina is not different. But the question is, how many shops are open in second floor? Did you find out? Because I know there is that push and pull over the shops. Many of them are unoccupied. They are unoccupied. People refuse to go there because you'll be surprised that some of those people running the toilets in the second floor are also running the ones downstairs, and they are closing those ones deliberately because there are not enough traders there to give them the money they would need and bring it down here.
Just what amount of risks are these stalls posing, not only to the thousands of traders struggling through business here, but also those who frequent the market, including children?
Tukauliza, hii soko haiwezi kuwa na show moja hata moja ya mtu akiwa hapa sokoni ama mtoto aende kwa choo bila kulipa.
You see now, Ibrahim, this one raises a problem. You have toilets that we are leasing out, then we want to designate one that is free. Then it beats, even those people we have tried it. We have seen in other places where the toilet is free, then we don't even have the capacity to keep it clean.
What level of contamination exists here? And in the event of a disease outbreak, how many would be lucky to survive? A very poor drainage system has resulted to closing down of food courts in the market to avert a possible cholera outbreak. But the county government seemed to be slow on acting up to redeem the situation. Begging the question, for how long? Ibrahim Karanja, KTN News.